Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, you know the drill. It does not matter what you drive. This is your all-terrain nation, and I'm your host, David Boyd. And today we are going to discuss buying the Bronco. That's right. Well, if you're friends of the channel here, you know we finally got our Bronco, and it would be very Bronco-like if it didn't have a lot of ups and downs to it. But first, if you have not yet, smash that like button for me and leave a comment. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think of these stories, whether they be Ford, Chevy, GM, Toyota, whatever I'm covering at the time. Leave a comment and let me know whether you like it. It's how I gauge where we take the channel. So, let's get into this. Buying the Bronco. So, July 2020, I've said this many times, but put the reservation down. There was the ups and downs from there when we were actually going to get to order it. But then, January, we got to order these things. March, you had till March. Everybody got their orders in, and we went from there. Obviously, I pulled my order back. You know the story. And then come, August, I put my order back in and was able to get a build. A lot different than what I initially ordered, but I was able to get a build. And I say different by a lot better. I went from a Black Diamond to a Badlands. So, I cannot complain about that. So, let's rewind though back to July of 2020 because I had had several emails with my dealership. And if you're new to buying a vehicle or ordering a vehicle, listen to this. Because I knew that it was going to be a hot vehicle, and I stressed with my dealership, I'm not paying markup. I'm not doing it. So, and I had like 3 emails with them back and forth, and they were like, hey, no, we're going to charge MSRP, but we're not doing markup. And I was like, cool, man, because I told them at the time, I was like, if you're going to mark these things up, I'm going to move my reservation to another dealership, which I was able to do at the time. Now, once you order yours, you're locked in. Like, you're locked in with that dealership, and you can't then move it. So I wanted to be very cautious and make sure that my dealership was going to treat me right. So we wait all the time, and I mean like a long time. You back there, and that guy. Yeah, we've all waited a long time for these things, and the hype got just more intense and more intense, and people started getting their Broncos, and we had the whole roof issue and all that, and it just, the stress level of ordering this vehicle was like, all the way. And so I got my build date. Cool. I got pushed back once. Cool, that's all right. I knew it was going to happen. So, finally, you've seen, I'll link above, you've seen the pictures of my Bronco actually being built. And then, so I knew, okay, I kind of know when it's going to be here, and I figured, yeah, probably middle of March or middle of November is when it's going to be in. And so I prepped, and right before SEMA, I went to my dealership and wanted to finalize my deal. I was like, hey, once again, this is what I'm willing to do. And they started coming up with some, hey, there's this coating we put, or this ceramic, I forget what they call it, for the dash and stuff. And I was like, look, I don't want any of that. And I said, I'm going to pay MSRP, but I don't want any of that stuff. And I even said to the fact that when it comes in, I know it has to go through inspection. It's got to be, they go through it and inspect it and activate, make sure it's out of a travel mode and all that. I said, after that, I don't want anything else done to the vehicle because I want to film it for the channel. I want to, kind of unwrap my present of sorts because we've waited a long time for this. And this is the first time I've special ordered a vehicle. So probably like a lot of you, there was like, some excitement about it. And now there need to be a little payoff for anybody that does this, not just for somebody that has a YouTube channel and covers the industry. I think that's a big part of it, especially for the long wait we've had. There's just been this big part of it. So my guy was like, cool, we'll leave it alone the best we can. We do have to inspect it, and we want to make sure there's no damage. And I was like, that's awesome. And they come down to this I forget what they call it, a coating of the dash materials and stuff. And I was like, look, I think it was like $1,700, and which was going to be sort of a markup over MSRP, but at the same point it wasn't. Now, when I left there before SEMA, I kind of was under the impression that if you don't take this, you don't get the vehicle. So I had even stressed to the dealership, hey, or to my salesman, like, look, if this is a $1,700 nut that you have to hit on top of MSRP, I'll buy Ford Performance stuff and be good, because there are a few things from Ford Performance I would like to have for my Bronco. And I thought, cool, I'll just do that. And that was just a no-go. So I was like, all right, I'll deal. You know, I'm not getting hit up with like a lot of people, 10 to 15, 20, $30,000 markup on this thing. So I was like, price to do, you know, Bronco business. So I went to Vegas. I come back and we thought, oh man, it's going to be here when we get back from Vegas. No, sadly, another week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. Finally gets here. My dealer calls me, another link above, because we were all excited. We got to see it. It had just gotten off the truck. Well, it'd been off the truck for a few hours, but it was in its shipping form, like bags and everything. And we did the video, the walk around of that, just super excited. And I talked to my dealership, and that was a Thursday, and I was like, look, me and Kelly decided, look, we can't get there till Saturday to kind of finalize the deal because, well, you know, she works, I work some, like it just wasn't going to work out for us. So no problem. So my guy over there, Francisco at Ford of Murfreesboro, amazing salesman. I mean, like the best salesman I've ever dealt with, and I mean that, and I have no reason to tell you otherwise. Like this guy, I would buy, if he went anywhere, I'd probably buy a vehicle from him. I just think that much of him. So come Friday, I get a text message, and you know, me and Kelly, like, we're in the office here, we're talking about, hey, you know, tomorrow it's gonna be exciting, we finally get to pick up our Bronco. I get a text message right before I'm supposed to go live on one of our Frontier shows of, hey Dave, why is this your Bronco? And seeing as how I have a Rapid Red, not many come through the dealership, and I was like, yeah, that's mine. And he sends me a picture of they have it in the showroom, completely clean, everything taken off of it, and just it's in their showroom. And I look under the ad he sent me, and it's for sale. Now, couple things to be upset about this, and a couple things probably not to be upset about this. For one, they cleaned it up. I mean, this first world problems, I kind of wanted to do it like I said earlier, but it is what it is, right? I'll work around that. And also seen it said in the ad, come get it today, this won't last long. And I was like, Now, once again, I cover the auto industry, and I know there's a little clickbait involved to this because they want to get people into their showrooms because, well, they want to get people into the showrooms. And if you have a Bronco, which they're hard to come by, and especially a Badlands that looks this good, I get it. They're wanting to get people in. So I had some discussions with another YouTuber, and that person was like, hey, you want me to call the dealership to see if they're actually trying to sell this thing? And I was like, sure, why not? So they called the dealership, and sure enough, they offered it to him for $85,000, which was a $30,000 markup, or roughly a $30,000 markup from what the MSRP was. Now, I'm literally 15 minutes from going to my live, and I'm stressing out. I'm just like, I can't believe this. What is going on here? And I look at the time, and I see when the dealership closes, and Kelly's like, just go, you know, we'll go up there. And I was like, no, there's no way they're going to sell it in time anyways. But I was pacing, so I called the dealership, and we all know whether you feel great or not about dealerships. I called them and I said, hey, do y'all have a red, Badlands up there? And they're like, yeah, man. I said, is it for sale? Oh yeah, it's for sale. And I said, why are you selling my Bronco? And like caught the guy off guard a little bit. And after about 10 minutes or so, they cleared it up of it had a blue sticker in the window, which I don't know how they could tell it was a blue sticker because the windows are so tinted in this you can't even read the sticker in that passenger window. But another friend of mine up there in finance, she said, hey Dave, I'll take care of this. I'm locking this vehicle up. It shouldn't have been in the showroom. Salesmen just grab things when they come get cleaned up and inspected. It got put in the showroom, and they're doing their job, which 100% I understand, especially in these days when you don't have a lot of options of cars to sell. I'm sure definitely, yeah, let's get this thing sold right away. I want that commission. I've got a family to feed. So anyways, my friend in finance, she locked it up, put a sold sign on the window, and sure enough, we get there the next day, Saturday. I was there at their opening, trust me, because I was like, I'm not risking it now, right? And we get there, and they're sold. It's in the showroom, sold. I'm just like, can't believe. Well, it is kind of cool that your Bronco is in their showroom. Like, out of all the cars they have a GT500 and something else, a Black Widow something. And yeah, it was really cool to get that, and I've got some cool pictures from it. But I was still a little bit upset about it. So Francisco, my guy, comes in, and we're finalizing all the paperwork. And once again, I was like, hey, I don't want this package. And I said, have y'all done anything to it yet? And he's like, no. And the package also included a window tint. And I told my salesman, I was like, for $1,700, that's going to be the most expensive front windows I've ever had tinted in my life. But I was like, look, if this is the price of doing business for this particular vehicle, so be it. I'll deal with it. And we got the vehicle. We got rid of Kelly's BMW for this vehicle. And even though I wasn't exactly happy with the trade, I get it. I'm glad that car's out of my hair, because there was, we'd put a little bit of money in that thing, fun car to drive, but just we put a little bit of money into that thing. So they pulled it out. They do all their things. And we kind of, the interest rate and all that, like, I'm never going to go into my interest rate, because my credit may not be your credit. It may be better, maybe worse. I don't know. But so we got the vehicle, we drive it home, and I was told, hey, expect you're going to get a survey. Hey, and this survey only affects your salesperson. And I'll give my salesperson 10s all the way around, because he was amazing. Once again, I was super, super pumped to do business with him. I'm just not, at the time, pumped about how the dealership itself was treating me. So we drive it all weekend, and come Monday or Tuesday, I get an email from the general manager over there, and it was a basic form of how do we treat you and stuff. And now I didn't go all Karen or Kyle on them, because for one, I'm a business person. I want to treat people with respect. I demand respect the same way I'm going to treat you. I would demand it back. And so I just put in this email of like, hey, I probably wouldn't, and I did say this, I probably would not buy another car from your dealership. And here's a couple reasons why. And I go into about the whole coding and all that, and just how they did try to add $2,500 of markup to it. And I squished that pretty quickly, and they knew it, because I had the emails. And once again, even if you're ordering one now, communication, have a signed document, have a paper trail of you saying, hey, how are you going to treat me? Are you going to do this or not? Highly suggest that. So I get a phone call from the general manager, and sadly I missed the phone call, and I thought, okay, I recognized the number, and I was like, okay, I'll call him back. And it was his cell number. Well, I say I recognized it. I seen a Ford of Murfreesboro number pop up, but then a cell phone number popped up, and I called. He left a voicemail, and I called him back, and he was just curious, like, what happened, what made this wrong. And I explained to him how we didn't get off on the greatest, about this coating on the dash and all this stuff. And I told him, I was like, hey, I felt like the way I was being pressured was you either buy this or you don't get the vehicle. And he was like, whoa, that's not how this works. And I went, back and forth with that a little bit. And he explained, that we probably shouldn't have felt that way. Like, the dealership should not have made us feel that way, which I appreciate. And the guy was, the general manager over there was great. I have to say that. He really changed my opinion of this dealership, and for the better, obviously. But we get into it and stuff, and I explained how my salesman was amazing, and ultimately, like, my vehicle getting put in the showroom was very upsetting. And he said, hey, I was made aware of that night. And we did look into the whole why was your window sticker blue when it should have been green. He said, I even have an email out to Ford about it. So they didn't just blow this off about, hey, why did this mix up happen? They are researching and getting with Ford of why did this special order, because he went through my records, and he said I want to check this. And he goes, this vehicle was ordered for you. So he said it should not have been, it shouldn't have been with a blue tag on it. And the blue versus green is how they know for tracking of for shipping and stuff. It's how they know, and I think at the dealership itself, it's how they know, hey, this is a special order vehicle. Which I've been on a couple of the forums, and it seemed like November there was a lot of people getting blue tags for whatever reason. So we have a good back and forth, and he kind of calms me down a little bit. And I told him straight up, and I'll tell you guys the same thing. If you have a problem with somebody like this, and this probably works in life, I told him straight up before he ever got to talk, I'm telling you this as a man to man. I want nothing from your dealership. I'm not telling you this in hopes that you guys are going to give me something. I don't want anything from your dealership. I do business this way, and this is how I would like business done with me this way. And a guy was very appreciative of that, you know, knowing that, hey, I'm just, you know, because there's a lot of people out there that will ding dealerships hoping they get, I don't know, free oil changes, whatever. They're just wanting something extra. And I don't operate that way. I want for nothing on this stuff. And so we have a good back and forth, and then he calms me down, and he does explain, hey, that $1,700, he goes, I'm going to switch you out if you want anything from Ford Performance you want. And I was like, finally, this is what I was asking for at the dealership of, hey, this is all I'm asking for. For my money, I want my money to be spent how I want it spent. And so we've worked out some parts that you'll see on the channel coming up. And once again, I say thank you to Ford of Murfreesboro for their general manager for stepping up and like realizing, hey, we shouldn't be treating customers like this. And the general manager said, hey man, I took this place over last December. I'm trying to change a few things, the way they do business here. And he said, it's like turning the Titanic. And I did believe him. And he said, hey, this is my personal phone number. If you have any problems with this thing, you call me. Which, and I know I'll get it in the comments of people go, well, it's because you have a YouTube channel. I think it's probably 50-50. I think part of it was because I came at him as an adult and I didn't go all Karen on it, and just we talked. I think that was probably a big part of it. And obviously I think the YouTube channel does help this situation a little bit. And he told me about some stuff too that was coming up with, Ford's got a tuning coming up for the 2.7. He said it was like 40 horsepower more plus 35, I think, more foot-pounds of torque. And he was, we talked a little bit of shop and some stuff and they did offer, hey, you want to, you need to use a vehicle for a review, come see us. So anyways, I kind of wanted to let the audience know that, and to kind of, because we had the live stream where I was still a little upset, and we got this call. I guess it was the next day when I got this call. And I don't think they've watched the live stream, by the way. I just think it was just once I sent them the email back is how this worked out. But how has your experience been with your dealership? Have they treated you the way that you felt like they should? Were they upfront about, like, here's our fees? Did they try to, at the end of it, when you're signing the paperwork, did they try to back any fees into your deal? Let me know in the comments below. And hopefully you guys find this video informative. I hope so. Ultimately, if there was a Ford vehicle coming up, I would give them a shot at the business. I will be a little weary, but I would give them a shot back at my business, where a week ago there was no way in hell I was going to give them a shot at my business. But let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of this story? I'm loving the Bronco. So if you've made it to this part of the video, they're definitely worth the wait. These vehicles, you're gonna love it. I know it's a long wait, and we're the Amazon culture that is definitely want it when you want it now. All I can say is it's been too chilly to take the top off, but I cannot wait to take that top down and cruise in the warm air. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, it does not matter what you drive, because this has been your All Terrain Nation, and we've been buying Broncos here on the channel. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.